Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with another Dragon Ball video. This is my first Dragon Ball Super review. If you're, I guess, new here, I've made several Dragon Ball reviews. I did a review about a year ago at this point on the original series. I've done 3 videos on Dragon Ball Z. The first one is over pretty much the first third of the show, the Saiyan Saga, the Namek Saga, and the Frieza Saga. That's all in one video. And then I made another video on the Android Saga and the Cell games. And then I made a third video, which was the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament and the Majin Buu Saga. And I guess about a month or so ago, probably a little more than a month ago, I did a review of Dragon Ball GT, just the whole thing. And now I'm going to be reviewing 3 sagas from Dragon Ball Super. This is going to be a review of Beerus, the God of Destruction, the Golden Frieza Saga, and the Universe 6 Saga. Fair. I guess a bit of a slight disclaimer. I have started watching the Future Trunks Saga. I'm a couple episodes into it. Nothing much has really happened yet, so I don't really... It's not... Basically, what I'm trying to say is, even though I have watched a little bit of the Future Trunks Saga, it really is not going to color my review of these sagas. And also, another disclaimer, I guess, I am also reviewing the English dub. I don't really watch subbed anime. I can, it's fine if you do, but I prefer English dubs, and I really like the English dubs of Dragon Ball, which we might actually talk about a little bit later. But, yeah, this is probably going to be a long video because we're going through 3 sagas, so strap yourselves in, get a drink, get a sandwich, and let's get going. So the first thing to talk about is the Beerus Saga. Now I'm going to try to blast through this really quick and give you quick thoughts, I guess, on each of these. First off, we have Beerus, the God of Destruction, and his attendant Whis. These are interesting characters. Beerus, it's very interesting. He's not really a bad guy. It's interesting because he is very temperamental, and obviously he is the God of Destruction. But he's not a bad guy. He doesn't destroy because he's evil or anything. It's just his job. So I really like that. And I think Whis is a really fun character, especially when Whis is kind of the only one that has, like, the balls to fight back against Beerus or to push his buttons. So, yeah, I really like the two of them. I think they're great additions to the cast, which is good because they kind of stick around throughout the whole show so far. Yeah, so Beerus shows up. He has this dream of a great challenger to him, which is a Super Saiyan God. And when he goes and finds a Super Saiyan, he runs into Goku. And Goku doesn't know anything about a Super Saiyan God. But Goku wants to fight anyway because, you know, Beerus is this all-powerful deity. So Goku wants to fight him, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. So we get Beerus versus Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Interesting, I will say. It's a little weird to see Super Saiyan 3 again because I'm so used to GT where we just kind of stuck with Super Saiyan 4. So yeah, Super Saiyan 3 is back. It's pretty cool. It's a very short fight because there's just no challenge to Beerus. Like, it's not even a thing. And then we get basically Bulma's birthday party where Beerus shows up and Vegeta is there. And we get this whole thing of Beerus now... Well, basically Vegeta trying to make sure that Beerus doesn't get pissed off and destroy the Earth. So hijinks ensue, which are pretty fun. I really like that. And then Goku shows up. They figure out what a Super Saiyan God is by asking Shenron. And Shenron is, like, afraid of Beerus. I didn't really like that. Like whenever Beerus is around, Shenron, he starts stammering. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Lord Beerus, I'm a huge fan," and stuff. It's like, don't do that. Don't make him goofy. They're basically doing that for a joke, like, oh well, this is the joke that Shenron is kind of afraid of Beerus. I don't really like that. I don't think they should do that to Shenron. Shenron should never really break character like that to me. But they figure out that there is a specific ritual that has to be done for a Super Saiyan God to be created, where 5 Saiyans need to infuse their power into a 6th Saiyan. The problem is, there are only 5 Saiyans in existence. There's Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Goten, and Gohan. And so they only have 4 Saiyans that can infuse their power into Goku. But then Videl basically says, well, I'm actually pregnant with Gohan's child, who is a quarter Saiyan. Would that count? Sure enough, it does. My only problem is, shouldn't that be Bulla? Because this is supposedly 2 years after the Majin Buu saga. And at the end of Dragon Ball Z, 10 years after the Majin Buu saga, Pan is 4. So the Beerus saga is 2 years after the Majin Buu saga, and so that means that 8 years after the Beerus saga, Pan is only 4 years old. I think we got some continuity problems. It would have made sense if it was just Bulla, Bulma and Vegeta's daughter, because she was seen in the end of Dragon Ball Z, and she was in Dragon Ball GT, and she was obviously much older than Pan. So yeah, I think they should have just gone with Bulla. I don't know why they insisted on Pan. I guess just to kind of keep it in... I guess just to kind of keep it with the Goku family. Plus, they've never really done anything with Bulla. Like, Pan was, a main character in GT. So, the fact that... So, I guess it makes sense that they would start setting her up in Super, but... I don't know. It's just a minor thing, honestly, but I wish it was just Bulla. Because then Bulma would have had something to do in all this. Because she really didn't play a part in this saga. So yeah. So finally we get Super Saiyan God Goku. Okay, so he's a Super Saiyan God. Okay. I guess that could be interesting. Where do we go with it? Not many places. So first off the design. Not a great design. It's basically just Goku if his hair was red and his eyes were, like, his pupils were red. That's about it. His hair's not even spiked. Well, okay, well, Goku's hair naturally has spikes, but it's not up. It's not in the Super Saiyan hairstyle. It's just his natural hairdo, but it's red. Did not like that. Don't like the design of Super Saiyan God. And apparently they didn't either, because Super Saiyan God is dropped like that. It's gone before you know it. So we get the battle between Beerus and Super Saiyan God Goku. It's okay, I will say. It's kind of slow, and we'll talk about this in a second. I know I've said that like 8 times in this already, but it's very slow. It's very not action-packed, especially compared to Z, where the fights were just amazing in Z. And yeah. So at a point, Goku just stops being a Super Saiyan God, and instead goes back to being a normal Super Saiyan. But because he achieved Super Saiyan God, his body remembers the power, so he can now achieve that power naturally as a Super Saiyan. Okay, that's interesting. So he's not a Super Saiyan God. He's not literally a god, because they say that Super Saiyan God is literally that. Super Saiyan God. He is a deity at that point. But now, as his normal Super Saiyan, he has achieved the power of a Super Saiyan God. Interesting. So I'm just assuming they didn't like the Super Saiyan God form. I don't know if someone wrote that and Toriyama didn't like it or something, or if Toriyama wrote that and he really didn't like it. But yeah, it does not. It's gone. It makes one appearance and like that, it's gone. So yeah. And now for a quick comparison. So as you probably know, this saga is actually a remake, basically, of the Battle of Gods movie, which I have seen, and I will say Battle of Gods was a lot better. They still had the same Super Saiyan God design, so whatever, and it still relied on Pan being the baby that they use for the ritual, but whatever. I can overlook those, but the movie was a lot better. You can tell this saga was written to be a movie. It's a lot faster paced, and it's funnier. It's like it's funnier in places that it should be, because like there's a scene where Bulma goes up and she's like, "You are ruining my 38th birthday party," and Beerus just kind of slaps her, and then Vegeta goes all Super Saiyan and he's all pissed off. He's like, "Ah, that's my Bulma!" And hits Beerus, and that's a great scene in the movie, because while yes, it's kind of serious and it's kind of one of those moments where it's like, oh my gosh, he's going Super Saiyan because he loves Bulma and stuff. But there's still a good tone to it. It's still sort of funny. It's funny but serious at the same time. In the show, it's so friggin' serious. Which, now that I think about it, this is gonna sound weird when I talk about this later, but it's way too serious and way too slow. This was obviously written just to be a movie. And the fact that we stretch it out over 11 episodes, it is a slog to get through. But the good thing I will say is what makes this work is Beerus. Beerus was a great villain, I guess. Basically a villain, in this arc at least. So yeah, Beerus at least helps, but overall, this saga is slow, too serious, and doesn't really have great action scenes. Yeah. Whereas, in Battle of Gods, I will say the action is a lot faster paced because they're not having to break to fill in 11 episodes of time. But I will say that the fight is not as impressive as it was in Dragon Ball Z. So, that's Beerus. We're going to move on to Golden Frieza. So, first off, Goku and Vegeta are training with Whis, which is actually really cool. It's interesting to actually see the two of them train together, because they've never done that before. So it's interesting that we keep... It's fun because the two of them work off each other really well. We get we get some henchmen of Frieza that bring Frieza back to life, which is interesting. And Frieza decides, well, I guess it's time for me to finally train. It's like, Frieza's never trained? It's like, damn, he's powerful. It's like, if he's never had to train in his life, that's impressive. So Frieza comes back and he comes to train, and he gets good in about 4 months. That's a lot of getting good to do in 4 months. And he comes back, and the team shows up, and we got a couple things to go through. Gohan is rusty. He hasn't fought pretty much since the Majin Buu saga because he's settled down. You know, he has Videl, he has Pan now. Pan has been born since the Beerus saga. And yeah, so he's not a fighter anymore. And it's like, oh great. fabulous. I'm so glad we spent all this time. Oh my gosh, I have 20% power. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm glad we spent all this time with Gohan, watching him grow up and become this amazing fighter that destroyed Cell and took on Majin Buu. And for that to be all flushed down the drain. So yeah, Gohan is a bit rusty. It makes sense, I guess. I just don't like it. So, yeah, 1 second. And you know, Krillin is rusty. They even say, like, Krillin stopped fighting a long time ago. But he does better than Gohan does. So, I don't know. Alright, I gotta plug in the camera. Yay. Alright, cool. Shut up. Alright, cool. So, then Captain Ginyu comes back. Okay, Captain Ginyu is back, and we spend a long time on that. Maybe a good 1 to 2 episodes just on Captain Ginyu coming back. Okay, we're trying to stretch out the saga, because again, this was a movie. And then, finally, Goku and Frieza have a rematch. And it's okay, I will say it's pretty good. It's a bit more of an impressive fight than Goku versus Beerus. And then Goku just says, like, hey, we've managed to harness the Super Saiyan God power in our Super Saiyan form. And boom, now he's Super Saiyan Blue. Or, in the Japanese at least, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Okay, I can live with that because, hey, it's his Super Saiyan hair, it's just blue. Okay, I'll take it. It's something. And then Frieza's like, well, you know, I've been training for 4 months, so now I have a new form. And we get Golden Frieza. Okay, pretty cool. I will say that it's pretty cool. And Frieza is a ton of fun in this, so that's good. Yeah. There's not a whole lot else I can say. The problem is that Frieza lands on Earth, and then he doesn't even go anywhere. He just lands on Earth, and then, like, without even leaving his ship, practically, without even, like, going away from his ship, Goku shows up, and then we have the fight. It's like, is this all we're doing with Frieza? But again, this is based off of a movie, Resurrection F. As a comparison to the movie, again, the movie is just faster paced. I really like it, and it cuts out a lot of filler, I guess, with Captain Ginyu. Captain Ginyu's just not in the movie, which is nice. But I will say the Frieza saga, I guess, was adapted better than the Beerus saga. Like, there's not a lot of differences in tone and stuff. So, that's nice. And like I said, the fight between Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Golden Frieza is really fun, and it's really nice. I know I kind of sped through that, but sometimes there's just not a lot to say. Moving on to the Universe 6 saga, while I take a drink. So the Universe 6 saga is basically a tournament between the best fighters from Universe 7, which is our universe with Goku and Vegeta and everyone, and Universe 6, where the god of destruction there is Champa, who is basically Beerus' twin brother. And so we get a tournament. Hey! Okay. Initially I was excited because there was another tournament, and I thought, yay, tournaments! And then we got to it, and it was like, okay, it's okay, it's fairly okay. So, to kind of go over Champa a little bit, I like that he's not just a carbon copy of Beerus. It's like, you can tell it's sort of not the same personality, but it's sort of the same thing where it's like, well, he gets aggravated really easily and stuff like that, but I feel like he's quicker to being aggravated more than Beerus, which is really funny. So, yeah, Champa is nice. It's nice that they differentiate him from Beerus, and it's nice that the two of them, you know, really butt heads. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to go through pretty much every fight in this tournament real quick. Goku versus Winnie the Pooh. I know it has another name, but for God's sake, look at it. It's Winnie the Pooh. It's huge Winnie the Pooh. So we have a joke character, pretty much. Like, this is not supposed to be a serious fighter. I wish they were kind of a serious fighter. That'd be kind of cool. But, yeah, Goku wins like that. Pretty easy. Goku versus Frost. Frost is basically, well, he's the same species as Frieza. And he starts off, he's this super good guy. So basically the opposite of Frieza, which is kind of funny. The fight is okay. You know, Goku really pushes Frost to his limits and, you know, makes sure that Frost goes to his final form. And Goku does too. Goku goes all the way to Super Saiyan Blue. And then, but Goku loses because, secretly, Frost has a little poison needle in his arm that knocks Goku out. So then Piccolo comes in to the fight. Gohan's not in this tournament because he has to go get a job as a professor. Hooray, that makes for great storytelling. So we got Piccolo versus Frost. Basically results in the same thing. Piccolo gets knocked out. Then we get Vegeta versus Frost, who basically beats his poison, like exposes him as a cheater, and then just straight up beats him like that. It's pretty cool. And then we got Vegeta versus the robot. Whatever, there was a robot, it did some heat stuff. It was kind of a boring fight. Whatever. We got Vegeta versus Kaba. That was kind of interesting because Kaba is basically a Universe 7 Saiyan that never learned how to go Super Saiyan. So, even though I would say, so, Vegeta basically uses the fight to teach Kaba how to become a Super Saiyan. Which is an interesting concept, that Vegeta is trying to help this guy and teaching him. That's actually really interesting. But it's a little bit rushed. Like, Vegeta just kind of trash talks him and then he becomes a Super Saiyan. And, yeah. But then Vegeta goes Super Saiyan Blue and wins. So, that's that. Overall, it's okay. It was interesting. Wish they could have maybe done a bit more with it, but who knows? Maybe Kaba will come back at some point. Oh, there's something in my nose. And then we got Vegeta versus Hit, which is once again over like that. Hit is really interesting. He's basically an assassin that can stop time long enough for him to do a lot of quick, powerful jabs on his opponent. It's really interesting. And Vegeta is out like a light, and Goku goes in, and Goku versus Hit is pretty much the highlight of this entire arc. It's really, really cool. And then, I like that basically Goku keeps trying to power up to get fast enough to avoid hits, basically, and get faster than his time jumps. So that's really cool, and it leads to a great scene of Goku at Super Saiyan Blue using the Kaioken, which he really has not done since the fight with Frieza, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but... And I mean the fight with Frieza originally on Namek. I don't think he's used the Kaioken since then, but I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh. So yeah, it's a really cool fight between Goku and Hit, I will say. But because of arguing and stalling between Beerus and Champa, Goku actually just surrenders because Goku can't win a friggin' tournament unless Piccolo is the bad guy, I guess. But yeah, Goku surrenders because he was gonna run out of power anyway with the Kaioken. So that's interesting. And then we get Monaka versus Hit. Monaka, who is basically, Beerus claims that he is the strongest opponent Beerus has ever faced, even stronger than Goku. But this is all a ruse so that Goku will always have something to aspire to beat. Now, why that's not Beerus, I don't know, because Goku never beat Beerus, but whatever. So Monaka goes out and Hit basically takes a dive for the match and loses, so Monaka wins. And then Goku thinks that Monaka is the most powerful being in the universe and wants to fight him. So we get a bunch of hijinks with this, which really go nowhere, and it's not really that funny. And then the Grand Zeno comes out. He's basically the ultimate god of all the universes. Okay, so we have this ultimate grand god who wants to have a tournament of all the greatest fighters between all 12 universes. Okay, alright, well, we'll get there when we get there. It's going to be a while from now, because we have to wait for that arc to be dubbed, basically. So, yeah, that's basically the Universe 6 saga in a nutshell. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. It's a little bit better than the other two, but yeah, that's basically it. The only impressive fight, really, is Goku versus Hit. That's pretty much it. So that's all 3 arcs, but we're not done with this video because I want to talk about the dub of Dragon Ball Super because I got some beef with this dub. First off, the music and tone. What happened? Okay, so I mentioned the tone being serious in the beginning, but this has become like a really light tone throughout the rest of the show. I don't know what happened, man. There's never proper seriousness. Like, and I say that because, I said, like, oh, well, the first saga is so serious and stuff. But even that, it's not properly serious. Like, I never felt like anything was really gonna happen. So, yeah, the tone is all over the place. It's not consistent like Dragon Ball Z was. Z was very consistent in its tone. The music, come on, what is this music? The music just does not work. Apparently Funimation is trying to stick to the original Japanese music as much as possible. Bad idea. Bad idea. That is a horrible idea. This music does not work with Dragon Ball. I will say that. What they should have done was just stick to the Bruce Faulkner music. I believe is the guy that did Dragon Ball Z. When that guy comes in on, an electric guitar, or Vegeta's, what are they, Hell's Bells and stuff like that, or like Cell's theme song and stuff, like, the music is so epic in Dragon Ball Z, and really, it sets the tone, honestly. The music really sets the tone. And then in Dragon Ball Super, when we get this huge scene where Goku is, Super Saiyan Blue using the Kaioken, about to Kamehameha against Hit, and it just plays the theme song. It plays this lighthearted, theme song, like, hey, here we go, he's gonna fight. It's like, come on, we should have some serious, like, electric guitar or something. The music does not work in this show whatsoever, pretty much. And I will also say the opening title sequence, make it in English, for God's sake. Like, that's the thing. It's like, if you want to stick with the original Japanese opening, that's fine. But would you friggin' translate it? Come on. Even the original Dragon Ball series did that. Because it's the same song between the two versions, between the Japanese and English versions of the original Dragon Ball. The English version made it in English. Come on. The next thing to talk about, the dub. What happened to Goku? What even happened to Goku? This is not Goku. This is abridged Goku. This guy is a moron. This is a guy who can't see anything but a fist and where he can punch things, basically. Goku is so stupid in this. He doesn't know anything, and he's not taking anything really seriously. Because even you could say, oh, even though I don't think you can, if you said, well, in Dragon Ball Z, well, Goku didn't have a lot of intelligence, it's like, and he still wanted to fight everyone, it's like, well, yeah, but he took it seriously. Goku, no matter what threat shows up, he's like, ooh, can I fight it? Can I fight it? Or Manaka's Beerus says, and under no circumstances can you fight him. And Goku all the time, like, can I fight him? Can I fight him? At one point, they're all just hanging out, and Goku is just looking at Manaka, and then just punches him square in his face. It's like, what are you doing? Goku doesn't do this. And some of this, I will say, is part of the writing. The original writing, because that scene is in there originally. That scene of Goku, because Funimation didn't do that, I'll give them that. That scene of Goku just punching Manaka in the face. They did that in the original version. What the heck? It's like, it's not only that, because I feel like there's this big thing apparently of sticking to the original Japanese version, where for some reason we just gotta stick to the Japanese version as closely as possible. But why? You're a dub. Just make it, just dub it. Dub it. Redo it, basically, to fit an American audience. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know, it's not that, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm trying to say there's a difference in cultures, but I don't know, but Goku is so stupid and doesn't take anything seriously. Even, no matter what shows up, no matter what serious threat shows up, Goku just goes over and he's like, yeah, so we're gonna fight. And it's like, in Dragon Ball Z, he'd go over and he'd be like, you're evil, and you need to be stopped, and I'm gonna stop you. It's like, that was awesome. So, yeah, Goku, I don't know. Now, I will say, all the rest of the characters are pretty good. They're pretty consistent to what they were in the other shows. Goku changed. They straight up changed Goku to be stupid and obsessed with fighting. Okay, Goku loved fighting. I will grant you that. Goku really loved fighting in the other shows. But he took things seriously. Now, he doesn't really care. Okay, here's another good thing. They constantly say throughout this show that Goku and Vegeta could take on any threat if they just combine forces again. They kind of allude to fusing, basically. And Goku even says, well, do you think we should do it? And Vegeta's like, no, I'd never want to, I never want to fuse with you again, or I never want to work with you, like that, and stuff. Now, that makes sense for Vegeta. Vegeta was very reluctant to fuse with Goku during the Majin Buu saga. Very, very reluctant. Once he, when he learned everyone else had died, even his wife and son, then he was like, okay, I hate this, but we have to fuse in order to defeat this guy. And then Goku that entire time was saying, no, we have to do this. We have to do this. Whereas here, when it's brought up again, Goku's like, yeah, I don't want to ever do that again either. I want to do this on my own. It's like, what? What? You were the guy. You were the guy that knew that you had to fuse. Even in GT, when they turned into Gogeta, they both knew they had to fuse. Again, Vegeta was still a little reluctant. He didn't want to do it, but he knew he had to. Goku knew he had to and wanted to. So now we have this whole thing where... we have this whole thing where now Goku, he doesn't want to work with Vegeta ever again, basically. And it's like, what? What happened to you? I don't know. Someone doesn't know how to write Goku. I don't know if there's a writer, or I don't know if Funimation just wants to keep it as accurate as possible, just stupid abridged Goku, or if Toriyama doesn't remember how to write this character, how to write the character the way he did. But Goku's kind of pissing me off in this show. But it's not horrible, I guess. I guess with that all being said, it's not the worst, and it doesn't ruin the show, but it's a complaint I have. It's a complaint. But to end this all off, like I said in the beginning, I've seen a couple episodes of the Future Trunks saga. So far, so good. What a turnaround so far. And I'm going to talk about this more in my Future Trunks review whenever the dub finishes that arc, which is going to be a while. But yeah, so far Trunks has basically brought back Dragon Ball Z in a way that they wanted to do with Super, but they have not been able to accomplish. It's like, this is not Z, this is... I hate to say it, this is GT. It's like a fusion of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, but it sort of overlaps a bit with GT. Like, GT sort of takes more. It's like, I feel like not all the lessons were learned from GT. I guess that's kind of it. So, yeah, I feel like we're still making some mistakes from GT, and we're not quite to Dragon Ball Z yet, but who knows? Maybe I'm hopeful that the Future Trunks saga turns that around. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this review of Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, thanks for watching this. Thanks for suffering through almost 40 minutes of me ranting and stuff about Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you want to watch more of my Dragon Ball videos, I've got a Dragon Ball playlist down here. I've also got some other non-Dragon Ball videos you can watch, and the subscribe button. You can also follow me on social media, links below in the description. Thanks for watching.